There's a fair bit happening around the place today when it comes to the Labor Party, and it might not be doing them much good at all. It's a risky time for Labor. They've been doing okay in the polls, but they wouldn't want to get too far ahead of themselves, would they? Because federal elections are always tight, and this one is going to be very tricky indeed, unprecedented really, because of the pandemic. And the coalition are likely to have a compelling story to tell. I mean, they'll be able to claim a pandemic response in this country that, while far from perfect, is better than just about any country in the world. So the last thing Labor would want to do is give the impression that they're the front runners, that they've got it in the bag, that they're expecting voters to hand them power. But former Defence Minister Joel Fitzgibbon gave a hint of that kind of hubris today when he spoke about his intention to retire at the election.
I now feel very confident Labor can win the next election under Anthony Albanese, and I'm more confident than ever that Labor can hold the seat of Hunter without me, so I can make my exit stage left after 25 years in the Parliament.
He might be right, but I wouldn't be counting on it, especially if you don't fight like crazy for every vote and perhaps spell out what you might do differently from the government. Fitzgibbon will be missed because he's been a voice of reason. He's tried to bring Labor back to the mainstream, away from the loopy left. Who's going to do that now? Anyway, the other sign of hubris is something I mentioned last week, and that is the factional move to parachute Kristina Keneally into the safe seat of Fowler in Western Sydney. Now, when Keneally lost as a kind of stand-in New South Wales Premier, she represented the inner south of Sydney. Then, when she tried to switch to federal politics initially, she ran and lost in the lower North Shore seat of Bennelong in a by-election. Then, when she was parachuted into the Senate, and she moved into the idyllic surrounds of Scotland Island in the Pittwater boating and yachting area at the back of Sydney's northern beaches. Very nice. But now the American immigrant is having to explain why she's found a new homeland, an hour or more away in the western suburbs.
The people of Fowler, the families of Fowler, deserve better. They deserve a government that is on their side. And so this is why I want to step forward and be their local representative. Why I chose to move to Fowler, to move both physically and, I hope, representationally.
Ah, that's it. She's doing it for the people of Fowler. She's selfless, and they're the lucky ones. Keneally is heading to Fowler, crushing the aspirations of local Labor hopeful, Vietnamese-Australian lawyer Tu Le. And she's doing it apparently not for her own advantage, but to help the people of the western suburbs. She's suggesting she might even move across the water and live with them, leaving her island home. It's kind of like Kristina Keneally going all Kristina Anu. Yeah, you've got to have a laugh. Now, if this goes ahead, Fowler might be fertile ground for a strong independent candidate at the election, some such. But it all comes back to one golden rule in politics that no party or candidate should ever forget, and that is never, ever take the voters for granted.